Okay, this is the very first step for color grading, getting started on choosing proper colors to make your photos jump out. Now, if you've started in the beginning of my classes in black and white, I still shoot in black and white even though I'm going to do color to the photo. But if you skipped ahead, I want to cover something real quick. The colors can cause a photo to get very busy and pull your eyes away from the focal point. The focal point, for example, like this gentleman right here, that's where I want the eyes to go immediately as soon as they look at the photo. Now, any photo that you've taken, you pointed that camera at something and you wanted everyone to know what you photographed. And I see a lot of photos where that background is just way too busy and it steals from the focal point. And in black and white, you'll notice it, like if there's a lot of trees and limbs, and then people will sharpen them, bring them up, and the more you sharpen all that background and everything, it steals from where you wanted the viewer's eye to go. So if you skip the first videos, you might want to go back and watch how I control busy sections of a photo to keep the eyes focused on something. And colors will do the same thing. If you look, this photo obviously is in black and white, and when I go to edit it, even for color, I'll still edit in black and white first and then bring the colors in. But I'm going to switch it over to color so I can show you something. This is straight out of the camera. And a lot of people, they would start editing and start making adjustments here with the reds and the greens, and like if I bring up the greens, you'll see it starts making things busy, things like that, you know. And too many colors can steal from what you want the people to view as soon as they see the photo. So getting to know color grading to make your photos pop. Now colors play a big part in mood as well. So if it's blue, it's a very, you know, cold or shade type area. If it's very orange or yellow, it's very warm type areas. And you have to kind of decide what you want to lean towards with each photo. But you don't need all these colors. There's purples in there, there's browns, there's green, pink, you know, there's some blues over there. However, you know, I want this to be more shadowed and pushed towards that. So when I color grade it, watch what happens, how much more this gentleman will jump when I've color graded and got rid of a lot of colors like the greens and things like that. So we'll click here. Now, everything else just complements him. And that's what we're after. We always want to bring attention to what we pointed our camera at in the first place. It could be a silo in the woods. And if you think you got to make all those trees detailed and everything, you know, to help that silo, what you're doing is stealing from the silo itself. So the idea is to make the silo very dynamic. So if you skipped over my beginning classes on how to calm things down to make the subject jump, I suggest you go back before you get into too deep a color grading. Now, movies are great at color grading. They know the power of color and color palettes to set the mood of a movie. Now, for example, if you look, this is, you know, all these colors are pretty much in the same category. It kind of changes right through here. And that's what we go for. So these will set the mood. You know, you're not seeing purples and reds and things like that because they want you to focus in on what's going on there. And so on my Patreon classes, I'm going to be diving really deep into color grading to go from something basic like this to more theatrical like this. And I'm going to cover many ways of doing this. I'm also going to be covering how to use the color wheel to find complementary colors to help your photos out. And this gets really in depth, but this is how you make your photos stand out in a crowd. that's the whole purpose. You know, people will hire you based on your style. Your style fits their needs. You know, with me, I get more calls because my style fits the needs than I do of getting calls because I simply know how to take pictures, you know. And you can start charging higher prices too the more you stand out in a crowd with your own style. So check me out on Patreon. We're going to cover diving into editing this photo here and how I color grade it and how I do split tones and things like that. So jump over to Patreon and say hello, and I'll see you there. Bye.